Welcome back to the morning show here on the Arise News channel. And joining us now to review some of the headlines of today's newspapers from around the world is Arise News analyst Emmanuel Efeni. Good morning, Mr. Efeni.
Good morning, Leila.
Good morning,
Ruben.
Good morning. Good to see you.
We'll start with these newspapers, as if they were listening to our conversation yesterday. 2 months after Sokoto Zamfara Katsina count gains of amnesty for bandits. Attacks subside. 477 hostages released. 218 guns, including AK-47, SMG, surrendered. Kaduna, others yet to implement deal. And, recently there's this upsurge in Kaduna, kidnapping. Yes, so could it be because they are also not talking to bandits and kidnappers? But clearly, state governments are counting the gains that, yes, since they started talking to these bandits, trying to understand the reasons for their action, they are now, that attacks have subsided. If that, like we also mentioned yesterday, if force is not working, you try other options. Perhaps the option of discussing, negotiating, cajoling these bandits is bringing some results. But like we also mentioned, thereafter, what's going to happen to these bandits? Are they going to...
chieftaincy titles?
Or how are they being integrated into the society so that they don't go back to the forest and continue
I think
that criminality?
The principle of it is that, look, as we said yesterday, maybe multiple approaches will help. Maybe dialogue will help. Maybe all kinds of approaches will help. But whatever step is taken to make sure that there is peace and security is welcome. The second point, of course, is that, this should not be temporary. The bandits laying down their arms and, cooperating with government, this should be sustainable. It should not be a case, as we have had in many instances in Nigeria, whereby government just throws money at a problem. You collect arms and ammunition from criminals, you give them money, then they behave well for a while, and then again they come back and they start misbehaving again, and then crime becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy that is encouraged throughout, maybe unwittingly by the state. That should not be the case. What we need, in various parts of Nigeria, not just in Katsina State or the entire Northwest, is sustainable peace and security. And if the governor can help to deliver that, that, of course, is welcome. And then don't forget that the subject we discussed yesterday, that's the meeting between the governor of Katsina State and
his counterpart on the Nigerian side of the border.
From the Republic of Niger. I think the meeting is today.
Yes.
So we're also looking forward to concrete outcomes from that meeting to see how, this cross-border, diplomatic effort yields results.
Okay. Let's move on. The New Telegraph. APC threatens Buhari's associate, Minister Aids. Masari, that's the governor of Katsina State. Abuja forces using federal government funds to undermine my government. For the records, let's just look through the Buhari's aides they are talking about. They include Minister of Aviation, Senator Hadi Serika, Managing Director of Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, Ahmed Musa Dangiwa, and the Managing Director of Nigerian Post Authority, Hadiza Usman. These members may face APC's disciplinary action over alleged anti-party activities. Others who may also be sanctioned by the ruling party in Katsina State are Samaila Issa Funtua, Maman Daura, Sani Zangon Daura, Musa Haro, that's Buhari's nephew, and Sabiu Tunde, personal assistant to the president. And they were accused of supporting the People's Democratic Party gubernatorial candidate in the last election, that's Senator Yakubu Lado Demake. So this, well, the governor of Katsina State is the one who is threatening them now. And this is quote, they did not contribute anything to the development of the state, that's Katsina State. But these are the same people that are using federal government money to fight against us. These same people went and printed 2 million membership cards during the party primaries. That's the Katsina State governor, Aminu Masari, talking. So there's crisis in the APC in Katsina State. But that is not all, because the Punch newspaper also reports governors confirm crisis in APC states. In APC, states threatening shutdown. We are looking into the chairman's grievances, national vice chairman. Well, the state chairmen are saying that most of the appointments being done don't take into consideration those party members who have been loyal at the state level. They just settle things at Abuja and leave these loyalists at the state level hanging. And that if things don't change, they should be prepared for trouble. So within the ruling party, there is infighting at the state level, and perhaps it will also snowball to the national level. You want us to move on to other stories? Minimum wage. All categories of workers must be paid by the end of October. That's labor. They want end to consequential salary adjustment now. Vows to picket recalcitrant employers. Nigerian banks' greatest culprit against decent jobs. That's TUC. Well,
Efeni, just before we comment on that, minimum wage issue, let's go to our Abuja studio, where we have a correspondent at the National Economic Summit, to show us some of the deliberations at the session on industrial and manufacturing matters at the National Economic Summit.
Operates with power, corporate governance, labor, human resources, so all those things are priced into what you get eventually as the risk premium that the banks will consider when they are looking to lend. So effectively, what also eases that out is if you can get a rating from a rating agency that gives the bank some comfort in order to be able to give a kind of interest rate that is as minimal as possible. And then the problem of scaling needs to be resolved. There are so many small-scale manufacturers, and we're saying that if you are bigger, entities, it's easier for the banks to consider lending to them as well. And then access to debt is not always from banks. There are other sources of debt. You can go to venture capitalists, private equity, investors, and even issue a bond, a corporate bond, as the case may be. And so it's not always, and that way you can get other interest rates that are not as prohibitive or high as it appears. And then government's role in providing incentives to manufacturers, and not just manufacturers, even to banks. So the income that the banks get from lending to manufacturers should be made tax-free. And issues around pioneer status and all the incentives that the NIPC can make available, all those things will ease out the perceived high lending rates, and most importantly, creating awareness around these incentives so that manufacturers are well aware of what is available to them. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And on that note, I'd like to say a big thank you to everybody for your active participation in this session. Thank you.
Well, I mean, that's, coverage of the Nigerian Economic Summit.
Yes.
Discussions on industry and manufacturing. And the same point that we took up with our guest, Dr. Amadi, about the role of the state, how the state can play a major role, although Amadi had socialist views.
Which I support.
He was very much about statism, But our own view, of course, is that, yes, the state has a role to play, but not an overbearing role. If the state provides an enabling environment, then industry, will do much better, and then we can address many of the other issues within the economy. But before we went on break, you brought a story about this new national minimum wage.
Labor.
And I think that Labor is quite correct to insist that government has to implement the law. All this toing and froing over consequential adjustment about levels 1 to 6, levels 7 to 14, levels 15 to 17 will look like delay tactics, will look like the Ministry of Labor is blackmailing Nigerian workers. And I think that the earlier the matter was resolved, the better.
Absolutely.
Discussion cannot be endless once we have a law in place.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
yes, but...
Do we have any foreign papers as well?
Yes. Brexit update, Daily Express. Yes, Boris. It's no deal if you won't talk to us. Yesterday, a legal document to EU negotiators was finally submitted, and in the words of Boris Johnson, it's a sensible and fair blueprint. So he's saying that it's either you are ready to make concessions or we'll go the no-deal route. But whether he can do that when you have the Ben Act in place is what, but he's still spitting fire as usual, saying it's either you take it or we'll just crash out of the EU.
There's only so much spit he can spew, so let's see how it goes.
But the Financial Times is talking about the consequence of doing that for businesses. Customs paperwork set to cost businesses 15 billion in no-deal Brexit. That's what it will cost them in a year, businesses, every year.
It's not only businesses that will be affected.
Yes. Then
households will also be affected.
Of course, will be affected by then in public funds.
Mr. Efeni, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel Efeni. We'll see you again tomorrow morning.
Absolutely.